There seem to be many who have rejected hadiths completely but still seem to have a hadith mindset. They ask questions of the Quran based on the answers they used to get from hadiths. The Quran is not a replacement for hadiths. It can't and it shouldn't be expected to fill in the void left by hadiths when and if you choose to reject them. In many cases, these are voids that just shouldn't have existed in the first place. Like the common question I get, how do we pray according to the Quran alone? Those who ask that question only ask it because they have been conditioned to receive hard, clear-cut answers from hadiths, or so they think. In actual fact, the various traditional methods of prayer just do not have their origins in hadiths. But the point is that they were shown and taught exactly how to pray from other than the Quran. So now that they have rejected all else except the Quran, they wanted to fill in those gaps. Hence, they impose that question on the Quran and then try to scavenge for an answer by combing through the verses, taking bits from here and bits from there, counting the letters and words, looking for secret codes, as if God has deliberately hidden the way to pray in the Quran. Something which is completely at odds with their own constant iteration that the Quran is clear. Yes, indeed, the Quran is clear, and God has clearly decided not to describe a concrete method for prayer. Instead of fighting against that, why not accept it? Why not consider the more intelligent question of why God has decided to not include a detailed description of prayer in the Quran, despite ordering us to pray in numerous verses? Ponder on that question and maybe you will discover some wisdom, because there is certainly wisdom behind it. Or maybe go even further and test your own heart. Ask yourself this question: would you prefer the Quran as it is, or would you rather God had revealed a whole chapter detailing exactly and explicitly how to pray? If you find your heart leaning to the latter, then I'm afraid you have some work to do. The Quran will simply not be coerced into following anyone. All attempts always look like reaching and absurd interpretations. The Quran is supposed to be contemplated and followed. You can't make God say what he hasn't said in the Quran. Yet all of the Quranists and Quran alone Muslims know this, of course. So what is really happening here? I believe that in many cases it all comes down to an intense distrust of the past, of history and of anything traditional. A distrust that may even be propelled and galvanized by some hurt or trauma caused by mainstream Islam, either directly to themselves or others around them. It may even be something as simple as discovering the vileness of a truly ridiculous hadith when previously they had had childlike faith in them, and as a result their ideas about Islam or even their faith in Islam were significantly shaken. And a very easy way out is to clutch unthinkingly to the Quran. Thus for some there is now a knee-jerk reaction that anything traditional must be wrong simply because it's traditional, and anything in a hadith must be a lie just because it's in a hadith, and so we must now find the real meanings and the real way of doing everything from the Quran alone. In such a way many have come full circle and have now made the Quran once again a plaything of the very mainstream Islam they detest, because what they have abandoned from hadiths and from traditional practices must now be forcefully found corrected and fully detailed in the right way by hook or by crook somewhere in the verses of the Quran. Nor should any of us, including myself, think ourselves above arrogance and pride. That could be another factor, and there can be real arrogance and pride in believing that we are unique, that we are part of an elite special group that truly understand the Quran, and that all other Muslims are not really Muslims but hypocrites that don't want to follow the Quran. Sentiments I have seen and heard often. In part this seems to be an infatuation with being different, with not wanting to believe or do what most other Muslims believe or do. Arrogance and pride on earth blind the heart, as the Quran explains. It will cause us to be turned away from the signs of God, reject the way of guidance and follow the way of misguidance. Yet still, for the majority of cases, I think the main reason is just a sense of confusion. The modern age has allowed easy access to books and information, and for the first time in history, the normal Muslim doesn't have to simply accept what he or she hears from religious scholars. We can now look into and research different subjects ourselves and see how these traditional scholars arrived at their conclusions. Conclusions that we previously accepted on faith alone were based on what God and His Messenger truly did say and teach. That faith has now been shaken, and for Quran alone Muslims, distrust in anything other than the Quran has grown out of that. So now for them, everything must be found in the Quran, even if it isn't actually there.